Today I'm going to work a little bit on our new camper. We absolutely love it. I haven't really showed it to you all. It looks like a vintage camper, like a retro vintage 1950s, 60s style, but it's actually a new one. It's a 2015 Riverside is the brand. We got it off of Facebook Marketplace. A couple was selling it. They gave us a really good price on it and we're super happy with it. We took it out one time. Absolutely love it. So in this video I'm going to be sharing a few modifications I want to make to the camper. I've already done a fair amount of decorating on the interior, which I'll show you all later. If there's enough time in this video, I'll give a tour at the end of it. But for now, there's a couple things I want to do and I'll take you along for the ride as I make these modifications. There's one thing that some of you have been telling me on this YouTube channel, and I don't really feel like I deserve the credit. It's basically saying that you admire the way I'm not afraid to use tools and dig into something that might be a little bit more out of a woman's realm. And I just want to say, it might look complicated and it might look like something you would never have thought to try or would never do, but let me tell you, it's not as hard as it looks. Here's kind of my theory on life and some of these things. I learned this probably a lot from my mom. I grew up on a farm. The men were always busy, so some of these like more plumbing type issues or mechanical issues, some different things like that around the house that often men take care of. If she wanted to have it done soon, she had to figure out how to do it herself, and she was good at it, and she was a good role model for me. And I also grew up with one sister and 3 brothers, and my sister very much enjoyed housework. I did not, and my dad would put me out working in the fields, and I kind of grew up in the outside. So growing up around brothers and my dad working on the farm, I kind of learned how to not be too scared of using some things and just trying something out. And the other thing is, in today's world, we have a wealth of information online. So I mean, you can just go on YouTube and Google anything specifically on how to do it, and there's usually a tutorial. And if it's not something that's too complicated, usually you can end up doing it yourself. So if you can figure out how to do a job that needs done yourself, you save a lot of money versus hiring someone that's maybe in the profession or whatever. So a lot of these little things, I do enjoy the challenge of seeing if I can learn how to do it. And also, I feel like there's so many little odds and ends that would make life easier or just be handy to have around. And my theory is, if I want to have those, I have to figure out how to do them myself, because 1, we can't afford to hire someone to do it, and 2, my husband is so busy, I don't want to be always nagging him to do these little odds and ends projects that are kind of a personal thing for me or us. And if I can figure out how to do it myself, he can come home more and relax in the evenings, and I don't have this big long honey-do list for him. And if it's too complicated, then yes, we'll get someone else to do it, or I ask Nolan, can you please help me figure this out? And he often obliges. But today's one of those days we're going to try to figure out 2 things. The one I think is going to be fairly easy, the other one a little bit more difficult. This might bore some of you, but it's what I'm doing today. So I can tell that we're probably going to be doing what you call boondocking a lot, where you don't have hookups at campgrounds. We love going to state parks, and right now everything is usually so full that your hookup campsites aren't available. And often if you go to sites that don't have electricity and water, you actually get a much more beautiful view because there's not as many people. People don't prefer those sites. So one of the things you have to do, obviously, is you have to take along your own generator if you want some electricity, and you have to fill up your fresh water tank. And so let me just show you here. So here's the step that goes into the camper, and way back there, this is the fresh water tank. And that is the valve that lets out the fresh water. Now that little valve to empty your freshwater tank after you're done camping, obviously you don't want to let the water sit in there, it's going to get yuck and gross. You want to drain that if it's not all used up. And to do that, you have to crawl down underneath, basically on your back or your belly, to get to that valve. So I want to change that. I want to go see if I can get fittings and rig up a pipe so that I can bring a valve out to the edge here, and so when we're done, we can just reach down, open it up, and drain the water right from here without having to crawl under that. This should be relatively easy. It's just a couple pipes. You just need to make sure you find the right threads, figure out how to attach it to the camper. I don't think it's going to be that difficult, but as life has it, sometimes it does. The second thing, I've been trying to figure it out on YouTube. There's not a lot of information and it's been confusing me, and it's one thing that I can't figure out, but I'm going to go to our little hardware store. They're very knowledgeable there. I'm gonna see if they have what I need and if they know how to help me out. So in the front, there is 2 propane tanks, and the refrigerator runs off of that if you ever need heat in the winter, and the stove, that all runs off of the propane. And I would love to have a little portable propane grill to take along, you know, on days when you don't feel like lighting a fire, and if it's so hot you don't feel like cooking over the fire. And I'm the type of person, if we're camping outside, we want to cook outside, and it'd be nice to have like a little grill to take along. Often they have those little screw-in propane tanks, and you know, the less that you can take along, the better. So a lot of RV campers do have a little attachment already built in for this type of thing. This one doesn't, and there's also a lot that don't. But you can make it so that you can hook in an attachment straight to your propane, and then I just bring a hose and connect it to our propane tank, and you can have like the grill sitting out here. So there's all kinds of information about how you need to regulate it, because it's like a low pressure propane. You need to have the right fittings and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm telling you, I'm confused about the whole regulator thing, which side of what the regulator needs to be on and so on. So I'm just gonna go in and see if they can help me out. So right now, I need to hook up the truck, and then we're gonna head into our little hardware store that I love so much here in Newville and see what we can find. All right, let's go in the store. Oh, you all right? Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. How can we help you?
All right, so this is the current plug. I think this one is the same size, so if I would put this into the place where the plug is, and then get a long pipe to continue on out. Guess that'll drain. All right, we just need a valve yet. Should we get a red one to match the camper?
Like what?
Does that fit? Yep, it's just like Lego pieces. There we go. This is hot weather, isn't it?
Yes, it's very warm. Summertime.
Yep. Put that in there as well.
Have a good day.
Thanks, same to you.
Thanks for looking.
So the store wasn't quite sure about the whole propane thing, but there's an RV shop down the road that said he could probably help me out. So I'm gonna head over there and see if it's going to be an easy thing. If it's too expensive, it's not gonna be worth it, but I'm going to see what he says.
That's honest.
I don't think it was. Where are we going?
Woman.
No.
Graceburg?
Guess I can go in here.
You put this piece on here somewhere so you can hook into it.
Okay.
We'll get a block and hook a block in here.
Okay.
Run this over on a short line and then hook it here.
Perfect. Do I need to wrap it with anything, or is propane fine?
Well, normally we put thread sealing on it.
Okay. All right. I was there for a little while, but he got me all set up, got all the fittings I need. Should be pretty self-explanatory. All right, the first thing I'm going to try to do is install this water drain. I think this is going to be the easiest part, so we're going to do that and then try the propane. It is a super duper hot day. Not sure how much I'll get done. It is hot. So I found these fittings. I thought they would be handy if I screw them to the frame, run the pipe through here, and then just zip tie it down. And I think that's going to be the plan. We'll see if it works. Where do you think it goes?
Here.
Does it? Look at that. And Mommy didn't even tell you. Good job, bud.
Now I'm gonna fix it. I wanna stick it in.
You can stick it on then. Okay, here, buddy, don't touch the blue part. Now stick it on the pipe. Push. Good job. I'll make sure it's on tight.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's Bubbles. Hi, Bubbles. You're so cute. You like Bubbles?
I like to hold her.
Yeah, Bubbles, you're a cute one. Now stop chewing on my boy's clothes. Do you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it, Bubbles? Stop it.
Get this wrapped up.
I decided to add this extra little strap to the step just so that this is for sure rigid, because otherwise it wasn't really the best. But now we have a little valve right here by our step. I hope that's not too low, but I think that'll work good. What you doing, buddy?
I'm scared, y'all. Ready to go camping and this fixing this roper like a roper.
What are you fixing? You show me.
This engine.
The engine. This has an engine, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know the trailer had an engine. You fixed the engine. Show me where the engine is.
Here.
Oh, that's the engine? Okay.
This is up. Yeah.
All right, you fix it and make sure it's all ready for us to go camping. All right, so I have these fittings that he so kindly put together for me. And I'm supposed to go in under here, unscrew that, and get it all hooked up and screw it onto the frame here. Hopefully we're good to go. Then we can just bring our propane lines and hook it right into here. First step is to make sure this is all shut. Okay, I can already tell this is going to work. I need a different type of fitting for that end. I just got back from this hardware store. I got a couple more fittings, so I'm hoping we can finish this up right now. Now this fitting right here does not need glue. Oh, ouch. I am pretty much finished. I got the fitting finally into the camper right there. And I had to run twice to the hardware store to get fittings, but now I just need to mount it to the frame and then we're finished. I'm just gonna drop this. I might need Nolan's muscles to get the screw up through that metal. All right, Xander, are you thirsty? Okay, let's go and get something to eat. One thing I plan to do is put some magnets on these doors so that they stay shut better often when we drive, especially these two. I think the plates kind of shift around. They hit the door and things come flying out. So I bought these little magnets that I'm really hoping will be strong enough, and they seem strong enough. So now I just need to figure out how to mount them on the doors. We're going camping tonight, so I'm really excited about that. I have all the doors in this kitchen area with magnets. It definitely helps a little bit. Some of them are stronger than others. I'm not sure why. I tried to keep adjusting them, but so these 4 doors and those 2 and the ones down here all have the magnets. I need to keep rolling here. I have a bunch of stuff to do today before we go, but it's just us, so it doesn't feel like I have to pack quite as much. Welcome to our little camper. I'm excited to show you a tour. Me and my little energetic helper are going to show you around.
I'm going to the river.
You're going to the river. Okay, you have fun. Bye.
Bye. We're going to go kayaking.
Oh, really? You need to wait for Mom.
No.
Yeah. All right, so my little helper left. They're going on a bike ride. Anyway, so when you come in the front door, to the right is the dinette. One of the things we love is having a small camper like this. It's like maybe 18, 19 feet. So it tows a lot easier, doesn't take up nearly as much room. But one of the sacrifices is a little bit of convenience, and that would be the front part of this. So in the back, we have bunk beds, which is really awesome if you're a family, you're gonna be a growing family, so you can put 2 children back there. And then in the front, the dinette turns into a queen size bed. This is the only down thing that I don't like about this camper. It'd be really cool if you could somehow have a folding bed that goes up into the front. I've seen that done before. So you have to kind of make your bed every time if you want to use a dinette. Also, you'll notice there's like red striped curtains around. That was actually stock with the camper, and I kind of liked it. It fit the retro theme. And it also came with like a comforter top for the beds. Now, when we purchased this, we got it secondhand. I'm guessing she would have had it before, but there should have been a queen size one that came with this dinette bed, but she didn't have it. So we have like the old vintage style checkered floor, and then here in the front is the dinette. It's a nice wraparound dinette, and we have 3 windows, which right now are covered. Back in here is like a little cubby hole where you can have an extra pillow. It needs a certain type of pillow to make this into a bed. So I just like storing our sheets and bed stuff here. Now I'm going to be turning the front dinette into a queen size bed. This just folds down and you move the cushions, it turns into a bed. It's really handy. One thing that I did is I ordered a mattress topper, or you can even use it just as a mattress. I ordered it on Amazon. It folds, so you can probably fold it up and throw it back on one of the beds in the back when we're traveling and we want this in a dinette. This should definitely make it a lot more comfortable than just your dinette cushions. And I'm going to have links below, by the way, to this mattress topper, not sponsored, but I think we're really going to love it. So this bed is where Nolan and I sleep, and then there's 2 bunk beds in the back where Xander sleeps, so we can have another child sleeping if we ever need to. So yeah, I really love the setup of this camper. We have fallen in love with it and are so excited to be able to have this throughout the summer. So I did some of the same things to this camper that we had done to our other RV, and that was hang up string lights around the bed, and they're battery powered. It makes it so nice if you want just a soft, gentle light. If Xander's in here sleeping, it's just enough of a night light that he doesn't have to feel scared and worried. And it's also just, I just really like it. You don't always have to have your own battery from the camper running everything. You can run it off of battery power. Alright, so for the lights, I just mounted this with Velcro. This is the battery pack, and it has like a little switch on here. And then in here somewhere, I have a remote that you can just turn on the lights with the remote. I think I found this at Dollar General. It just makes a nice little accent. You can put some things in, phones, whatever you need. It's just like a little pocket there. Right here on my kitchen counter, here's another light that I was super happy to find, sort of this retro style light. It is battery powered. So that's another really handy little thing I like having in here. So if you want something really handy for your RV or camper, there's these little sticky pads. I'll have links below if you're interested. And I use them underneath different things like that light and the decorative plant beside it. And it keeps things from moving and shifting, at least so far it has for us, so that things don't fall off countertops. Really like it. Another thing I use a lot is Velcro sticky strips. I use those to hold down different things. I used it for my utensil thing. Various things like that to hang up on the wall. But those sticky pads are really handy if you want to leave things on the counter when you're traveling. Alright, moving on from the bed, we're going to move on over into the kitchen. And I'm sorry, I know I'm getting hotter and hotter and hotter. My face is like beet red. It is so warm in here. Can't wait to turn on this AC. I'm just so hot. Anyway, let's move on and I'll show you my kitchen. This little camper feels much more spacious than our other one was. It's a lot handier for what we need as a family. So standing at the doorway, we have the bed to the right, and then we move on over here, and there is my kitchen. Cupboards up top, and a few drawers on the bottom, cupboards underneath, a refrigerator, microwave, and our air conditioner. Very simple, nothing fancy. We have a towel holder that was there. Here's our sink. Utensil holder. I have this Velcroed down as well with utensils in it. Over here is our stove top, my trusty coffee cup. Put that over there. And then I also purchased this on Amazon. We'll see how long it works. It's a magnetic strip that holds up knives. I really like it, but I've Velcroed it on. So far it's hanging on pretty well. But yeah, like I had showed you all before, I put magnets on the top there just to make sure everything holds together better. So up on my doors, I have these little clips you can buy on Amazon where you can hold your spices. I like that. Sorry, this looks kind of like a mess up here, but that's just where I have some bowls, cups, coffee maker, and so on. And then down here, I had bought these racks at Hobby Lobby and kind of just made a makeshift mount so that I have more places to store things. That pretty much completes the kitchen. The bathroom is through there. I got that Route 66 clock at Hobby Lobby. I thought it kind of added to the theme here. And then back here are the bunk beds. Xander usually sleeps on the bottom one, and there's one on the top. The top one is definitely a bit smaller, but there are 2 windows there as well, and each bunk bed has its own light, which is really nice. And then right here we have closet space. So I use the top one still for some food storage, and then the bottom one is also a rack, but we can hang up, which gives us a nice amount of room for clothing. And I bought this neat hanger organizer off of Amazon as well, and really like how that works out for our clothes. Through the bathroom door we go. Another thing that I bought, I had this in my other camper, was these towel racks. I put them on the door with some extra hooks here to hang up towels when you're done using them. Right here on this door, I really don't care for this. There had been Velcro stickies on from before. They had like one of those hanging shoe organizers, which I decided to take off. So we'll have to do something with that later. But then coming on in, it's just your standard shower here on the right, commode. And then right around the corner here we have our sink. I added some more organizer things. And there I am, hot and ready for AC. And here is the shower. Alright, and now for my long-awaited AC. Woo! That was a tour of the little camper here. We absolutely love it. It's way more geared to what we need as a family, and even though we have to make up this bed every time, it's still totally worth it. And with the new mattress topper, it feels so much better. There's a few other things I'll show you around the outside a little bit here. The couple that sold us this was so nice. They send us so many things along with this. They have like this huge mat that you lay out in the front. I'm not even sure what they're called, but you lay them out on the grounds so that you're not always dragging dirt in here, and it kind of makes a nice porch area where you can sit your chairs. The canopy comes out over. They sent so many little odds and ends of things that they had already purchased, which made it so nice to just have everything pretty much ready to go. But yeah, I added a few little decorations, like this little sign right over here. I would like to have this bedspread look a little bit more retro, but it's what we had from the other camper, so for now it's going to do. If I ever want to theme it a little bit more, I'll go ahead and do that. And another thing that we added that I'm so extremely happy we did, we took it to an RV shop, and right up here, that was just kind of like a vent, and we installed a max air fan like we had in our other camper. It really draws air through when you're running on battery if you can't have AC, and keeps things nice and cooled down, and it can run all night on battery. Or you can draw out air if you're cooking or something, and it kind of gets smoky or stinky in here. You can actually switch the fan and draw air out. So that was another addition we did. Really happy with that. So I think that pretty much covers the tour inside. Let me just show you around the outside a little bit, just a few things that I like. Alright, so here is the outside of our 2015 retro vintage style camper. It looks old, but it's not. It's a newer model. I won't really show you a whole lot. Obviously, here's the door that goes in. There's a little fitting that we made earlier. This is another thing that I think is so handy. This is a pop-up trash can. Let me just show you how it works. Let's just pop one out. And then what I like to do is have all of my outside cooking camping stuff in a container, and then we just throw it in here, have it all cleaned and ready to go. So this stuff doesn't necessarily stay in our kitchen. So we've got this lighter. A lot of you had seen one of my friends use this French press over the fire. This thing is so handy. Hopefully we'll get to use it later. I'll have links below if you're interested. I just have a bunch of different size pans, cast iron for the fire, tools, oil, fire starter, hot pads, and then in between each of these cast iron skillets I have like a protector, whatever you call them, a liner made to like protect pans from bouncing around on each other. So this is the kit that I use, and we just throw it in there and it's all ready for when we want to do stuff over the fire. We have this kayak rack. I did a review on it before. It's by Vertiyak, and it's so handy. You can just hook it right into your hitch and haul the kayaks that way. Another thing we got custom made at our local welding shop is a new bumper. This wasn't standard. They usually come with a cheesy little 4-inch bumper. We put this big heavy-duty 6-inch bumper on. It has a nice little lid that shuts where we can put our hoses and stuff into. And then with that, we can haul a lot more on the back, a lot more weight. We plan to haul bikes back here sometimes, kayaks, whatever. So that really help things out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week I'll be sharing our camping trip here. It's my husband's birthday yesterday. He turned 33, so I'll be sharing that with you guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Right now I'm going to try out my handy dandy little valve thing where I can just reach under the step and open it. Hopefully it all works. Dun dun dun. Ta-da! That is so much handier versus crawling down underneath and having to empty it. We're just gonna let it drain on the road. And Nolan also finished hooking up the propane, making sure everything was tight, and putting it on the tongue. We didn't use it because we don't have a grill yet, but I'll show you quickly. He hooked it on underneath here. Everything's hooked up. Now we just need to get a grill to hook into here. And you probably can't even hear me because the truck's running. Anyway, we're all done camping. That worked out good.